Hey everybody, Donut DM here, and we have the worst dungeon for a healer, the Aurum Vale. First thing you'll notice is ass. As always, activate your tank stance. Today's dungeon is very interesting due to the many fun mechanics. So, first things first, don't pull unnecessary groups of enemies. Second thing second, these yellow spots on the floor hurt you. So we're going to grab these and we're going to pull away from, and you can already see some wonderful DPS of mine decided we are going to do an even bigger pull than necessary. But that's okay. This is the Aurum Vale. We are equipped to handle that. Pop all of your defensive cooldowns at once. And say, wow, what a fun time that was. Wait to heal up, but your healer's not going to heal you. So, you're going to run, and you're going to grab the next group of enemies. Is the healer going to heal you yet, though? No. Welcome to the Aurum Vale, everybody. I'm your host, Donut DM. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna question our lives at this point. And hey, all of our defensive cooldowns came back up. I'd like to say this is not a normal occurrence for the Aurum Vale, but I've wiped on these first pulls many times. My wife actually wanted to run this dungeon with me so she could be my healer, and I've decided to run it without her so you guys can get a true sense of what this is going to be like for you. So this is the first boss. You see these marble fruits around. You're going to grab the boss and position yourself by one of these fruits. And all of the DPS and the healers should bring themselves close to some of these fruits. Now the fun thing about this boss is he throws out the AoE gold lung. What that does is it hits everybody in the party, putting a DOT stack on them. The only way to heal it is to eat the fruit positioned behind you. Now the fun part of this dungeon is determining how many fruits can the healer keep up with. I usually push it to 4 or 5 if I'm tanking with my life. Let's see how we do it 3 fruits today. Or 3 stacks of gold lung. Yeah. That healer's gonna have some difficulty, so we're gonna go ahead and clear that up. Now you're gonna notice there's currently not any fruit. Now more have spawned in different spots of the map. But look at that, there's only 2 of them. That means you're encouraged to take as many of these. There's more now. Take just as many of these stacks as you can and DPS your way through. Because there might not always be fruit, especially if people start eating them all on the first stack. So you kill the boss, you're free to go ahead and eat the fruit. And there's more that spawns towards the exit here too, to make sure that nobody's taking unnecessary damage with them. Alright, so we've got these marble fruits and these seedlings. You're going to grab all the enemies and you want to bring them towards the fruits because the fruits, if allowed to continue what they're doing, spawn marble seedlings. So we're going to grab the marble and then bring him over to his fruits. And make sure he's facing away from the party because these guys have some really bad breath. See, he's using the ability bad breath. That's everyone's favorite move. Bad breath. It applies almost every single debuff in the game to you, including paralysis, silence, I think possibly pacifism as well. And there's a treasure coffer there. It spawns a seedling. I already have that bad boy, so we're gonna let hopefully somebody else get it. But I greeted pretty high, so hopefully they need it. Alright, this room is fun. So I like to grab 2 sides in the main group here. We're gonna pull these bad boys into a corner. A nice corner. Away. Okay. Pop all your defensive cooldowns very early, especially when your healer does anything but healing. I'm gonna put it on battle chat. So, again, this isn't uncommon. I'm kind of wondering here. So they've played some good amount of healing. I'm just gonna keep on going. So, as you can see, big poles, while everybody expects them, not everybody wants to follow through. Now, the reason I put battle chat on is because I'm pretty good at reading through at that speed. So I can tell when the healer is DPSing and when they're healing. Okay, so this is a fun boss. He's got unmarked AoEs, and I'm gonna tell you what that means here in a second. So grab him, face him away from the group, keep track of his cast bar. That is not one of his unmarked AoEs. That's just a big, you're gonna die if you get hit by it. Oh, actually, so it turns out they added in the AoE markers for those abilities. Huh. Square Enix did some good since the last time I ran this dungeon, guys. All these abilities used to lack AoE markers. Like that one right there. So yeah, this isn't as bad as I remember it, and this is a nice basic fight. Another reason I'm sitting in the battle chat right now is I really don't want to see what that healer has to say about me. So I'm sure it's not nice things, and as tanks, we deserve only nice things. Alright, so that boss is down. Let's just run into a rock. Alright, again, we have a nice room where it's easy to accidentally pull the whole room if we're not careful. So what I like to do is pull that first group while that patrol is gone and hold them off towards this side. And hopefully everyone will do their part to not pull extra enemies. I got all sorts of turned around here. I'll let them start damaging that. I'm gonna run around and grab this group of enemies. You can see there's a whole lot of seedlings and fruit in here. Again, we're just gonna run in here. Now, if people are using this dungeon for leveling, the meta is to not kill any of these fruits because the seedlings give really darn good experience. These seedlings are just spawning all over the place. So, if you notice, that healer did a crap ton of DPS. Got very close to dying. Healers are supposed to DPS, guys. The thing is, a healer needs to determine how much can I DPS. It's a game of give and take between tanks and healers. A good tank has to adjust to a bad healer, but a good healer should adjust their DPS levels for any tank, because the more enemies we can pull, even if the healer isn't DPSing, it's still a faster DPS in a sense. So we're going to pull him into this corner with this fruit. We want to make sure, I think Dragoon has just like a basic positional. And this is essentially the same as the first boss. A couple of different abilities, but it's the same concept of there are these fruits. He's going to put burrs this time around. And he'll use an ability to stack extra on a specific target. And he will, at some point, spawn some fruit. This tank video, you're gonna watch me do this, but like, wow, you're really complaining about the healer there, bud. Maybe you should get better at tanking. Well, you're not wrong. But when I do my healer video, I'm just gonna be complaining about the tank the whole time. So you know what? I think it's valid. Healer hates the tank in this dungeon, and the tank hates the healer. That's just how the world works. If you go through this dungeon with a random as a tank and you like your healer, there's something wrong with you. And if you go through this as a healer and you like your tank, there's something seriously wrong with you. And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. DPS, you're not safe either. Okay? DPS keep pulling enemies. This is a poor... This dungeon is just a test of how much crap are you willing to put up with. And that's for everybody. The DPS has to put up with the tank doing big pulls, whether they want to or not. The tanks have to put up with the healer deciding to DPS, or maybe the healer just can't even keep up. That dungeon, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And yeah, you know, I could have done some smaller pulls maybe if the healer and the ranged DPS there weren't standing so far back and pulling in groups of enemies by just poor positioning on their parts. But hey, you guys wanted the Aurum Vale, you got it. Normally, I would do a run like that and be like, wow, that was terrible. I should redo it. But I want you guys to have an accurate representation of what your first time running the Aurum Vale is probably going to be like. And that's not limited to your first time. I heal that dungeon more often than I tank it. I usually refuse to tank it, but I really just wanted you guys to know how that works, and now you know. So please, when you run the Aurum Vale, just remember, it's not your fault. It's everyone else's. No matter what role you're playing, it's not your fault. It's everyone else's. But that second boss there, with the AoE markers being highlighted, really takes out a lot of the wiping of the dungeon. That used to be a big point of people not watching the cast bar and either being, you know, way too close for the 1,000-ton swing or whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please keep tanking. The next couple videos are going to be main scenario quests, dungeons. I am going to edit the videos and cover up the screen during the unskippable cutscenes that you have to watch that contains spoilers for you guys. But I'm going to not cut that content because A, it gives me time to explain the chaos that's about to happen, and B, gives me time to well, not gives me time, but lets you guys know just how long these dungeons take and why you are rewarded for running them every single day with tombstones. So, good luck, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep tanking. And don't be trash like I am. Yeah, we're going to say don't be trash like I am. Watch me to learn from my mistakes. Thank you.